Hi, this is my review of Rooftoppers by Katherine Rundell, which as you can see I've read on my Kindle. Rooftoppers is about a girl called Sophie, and when she is a baby she is in a shipwreck and she is found floating in a cello case. And she's found by a man named Charles who decides to become her guardian. He has never raised a child before, so it's all kind of an adventure. She gets to wear shorts like the boys, she gets to climb, she gets to write on the wallpaper, they eat birthday cake from books because Sophie's always breaking all the plates. It's a bit of an experiment, but they are both really happy together. And then the welfare agency decides to stop by, and when they see the conditions in which this girl is raised, which to them is not proper at all, they kind of threaten to take her away. Meanwhile, Sophie has become really curious about who her mother might be and if she is still alive. And so when they get a clue that she might have lived in Paris, both of them decide to go to Paris and try and track down more information about her mother. And so while they are kind of on the run in Paris, Sophie makes the discovery of her own, and she meets the Rooftoppers, which are a group of orphans that live on the rooftops of Paris. And that is all I'm going to tell you for now. This book won the Waterstones Children's Book Prize, and I had heard so many good things about it that I was quite excited to read it. It reminded me so much of a series of unfortunate events, kind of the quirkiness of the characters and the way they described everything. There were so many beautiful phrases and everything was so innocent while at the same time also being very clever. And Dad, Charles, really reminded me of Roger Ratcliffe from 101 Dalmatians. And while there were so many things that I really enjoyed about this book, halfway through when they go to Paris, the book just kind of slows down and I almost feel like it loses its plot. And if I would have cut out the whole last, I don't know, third of the book and just attached the ending, I think it would have been fine, and that is kind of what bothered me. I felt like the bit with the Rooftoppers just went on and on. Sometimes I couldn't figure out why they were going somewhere and they'd go back again and back and forth and not really getting any new information. So I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. This one gives you some examples of the writing. For example, when the lady from the welfare agency comes by and is kind of criticizing everything that Sophie is wearing. Sophie is trying to explain why she wears boys' trousers instead of skirts because she likes to climb, and she says that you can't really climb in a skirt, or you can, but then everyone would see your underwear, or as they say in the UK, pants. Miss Elliot frowned. She was not the sort of person who admitted to wearing pants. A lot of the descriptions were so vivid, which sometimes was really good and sometimes wasn't. There's a situation where when they're going to France, they have this like bundle of food that they've packed and she's describing all the food that's in it and it just sounds so good. But then there's also bits when she's talking to one of the Rooftoppers and they're talking about getting injured in a fight or like how to kill a pigeon and use its fat to keep yourself warm. The way it was described in detail was just so gross. I really did like the way that the Rooftopper boy talked to Sophie as she's like so stupid for not knowing all the things that he knows. He's asking her if she's learning French and she says, "A little. It's not easy." And then he says, "Yes it is. I know dogs that speak French. I know pigeons." It's weird because this book is kind of very realistic, while at the same time having all these little ridiculous bits that you're just kind of forced to believe as you go along. So if you like a series of unfortunate events and if you want to read something set in Paris that is kind of dreamlike while at the same time also being a little bit sad, I would recommend that you read Rooftoppers. In general, I was a little bit disappointed by the plot, but there's so many things about it that I also really enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys later. Doei!